everybody? Welcome back to some daily content where you get to watch me suffer through a workout. So before we get into the discussion, let's just start the workout. We are off in 3, 2, 1. I counted too fast, getting it. All right, so what are we doing here? First of all, for those of you that have watched my first full day of training in the 2020 season, this is the Metcon I did in my session number 2 at Cobra Command CrossFit. And so I detailed it in that video, but now we're gonna look at it in depth, talk about pacing, and talk about going out too hot versus pacing and that kind of discussion. If you guys haven't watched that video, I'll make sure to include it in a card so you can go watch me suffer through a whole day of training. This is just an in-depth look at this specific workout. So first of all, for those of you who haven't watched it, what are we actually doing? We are doing 2-minute rounds, 2 5-minute rounds. That was really confusing. 2 5-minute rounds, so a total of 10 minutes. Every 2 minutes, it starts with a 400-meter row. And then after you finish the 400-meter row, with the time remaining in that 2 minutes, you're getting as many devil's press as possible at 2 50-pound dumbbells, which are on the ground, as you can see. So when you first look at this workout, from my perspective, when I first look at a workout like this, it's all about pacing and times, right? And so if you look back at my younger self, so younger self being like maybe 2016, maybe 2015 Jacob Heppner, I might have approached this workout a lot differently than as how I approached it today. Now, I'm not saying that this is the score I'm gonna get, which the score is, again, is the number of devil's press total you get. So I'm not saying the score I get in this workout is like, oh my gosh, it's the best score ever, like you're amazing. But for me, I don't think I could probably get that much better at this workout or that much better of a score. Of course, you know, when we get closer to the open, when I start cranking up our metabolic conditioning, I might get a little bit better at this, but for today, I'm happy with it. So it depends on how you approach it. So 2015, 2016 self, I might have approached this workout and gone out hot, right? And so what I mean by that is probably done the first 400 meters in at probably like a 140, a 138 pace, and then probably got to the dumbbells with 40 seconds probably, and then probably knocked out 7 devil's press in 40 seconds. And then maybe got back to the rower and could have held on for maybe another 138, 140 row, and then gotten back and probably done another 6, 7 devil's press. And then on the round 3, I probably would have died hard. And so you really have to ask yourself, yes, you might have gotten quite a lot more than normal devil's press in the first and second round, but when you get to round 3 and you get to round 4 and you get to round 5, once you aggregate it and take all that and look at it, was it really worth it? Now, I'm not saying like, there is a time and a place to go out hot. There is a time and place to go out ham and see what you're capable of. I don't deny that. Like I'm gonna actually commentate on a workout next where we do sprint and we do take chances. But is this a workout where your total score is the total number of devil's presses? Is it worth it to go out too hot, or is it more worth it to pace it? So when I approached this workout, I decided that I wanted to row at a 145. And so doing a little bit of math, if you row at a 145, that puts you around like to row a 400 meter, puts you at like a 125. Now I'm talking about times now. It takes about 1 minute 25 seconds to 1 minute and 30 seconds to finish a 400 meter row around a 145 pace. So then that gives you about 30 to 35 seconds on the devil's press. So if you imagine that each devil's press takes me about 6 seconds, then that gets me about 5 reps. And that also takes into account that you have to factor in time to put the dumbbells down and get back to the rower, and then also get off the rower when you're done through 400 meters and get at the dumbbells. So that factors in like, you know, a couple seconds here and there, 2 seconds transition time usually. And so when I looked at this workout, I thought to myself, okay, if I can get 5 reps every round, so I'm going, 5 reps every round, so I'm rowing 400 meters, then I'm getting 5 reps for every single round I'm in. That puts me at a total of 25 reps. And I decided, you know what? That would be, right now, for the conditioning I'm in, considering I just got done with the games like a week ago, and considering I didn't work out for a week after the games, that would be a good score for me, is 5 reps per round puts me at a total of 25 total score at the end. And so that's what I decided to go out with. I think the first round I actually was a little bit faster than a 145 pace for my 400 meter, and I was probably around like a 143, not much faster, just a little bit. And so if you notice, if you actually go back and watch my first round, I get my 5 devil's press in, and I probably could have gotten a 6th one then and felt very comfortable. But instead, I got my 5th one and said, you know what, I'm gonna stick to the game plan, I'm gonna put it down, get back to the rower. And I think that paid off for me near the end. So you'll actually see my time to rest between finishing my devil's press and going back to my rower completely drops to a degree where now I'm rowing and I'm already a couple seconds in to my next round. You know, I finished my devil's press pretty much right at the 2-minute mark, and now I have to transition back to my rower, and in that 2-second, 3-second transition time, I'm already into my next round and I'm already wasting time. So I think it was beneficial to actually stick to 5. And so let's talk about, so that was my pacing idea. And so I guess my point to this video is, yes, could I have started out hot and gotten maybe 7, maybe 8 devil's press the first round? Absolutely, I could totally do that. Would it be worth it? Probably not if my goal is a total number of devil's press. It's more beneficial to stay pretty solid across the board than to spike your heart rate and then just hold on for your dear life. Now, my point, like I mentioned earlier, is there is absolutely a time and a place for that kind of testing. There is absolutely a time and a place for you to go out really hot and see what the human body, see what you are capable of. Because then you can say, hey, well, I know, man, I ran out really, really hot, and I know what that feels like now, but I also know what I'm capable of in that general aspect. So if I ever have to do it in a competition, or if I ever have to do it in the open, or ever have to do it in a local competition or a sanctioned event or the games, I know what it feels like and I know what I'm capable of. And then you can also retest it maybe in the future. Like in a few months now, you're like, okay, I'm gonna retest that, you know, go all out, go ham, see what I'm capable of. And you can see how far you've come possibly. So yes, there is a time and a place to go ham. A workout like this though, if I was saying try to go for a total score, I think what I did for the fitness level I'm at right now was a good idea and a good plan. And so sticking to 5s for me was a good idea. Now I did do more in the last round because, you know, obviously I'm not going back to the rower, but for me, this was a good solid plan for me. So now let's talk about you guys. Let's talk about how you should approach the workout and how you should scale it. So for females, obviously, 35-pound dumbbells. I'm not really good at meters for scaling back monostructural pieces of equipment for females. I would say if it takes me like a 120, a minute 25 seconds to finish my 400 meters at a 145, I would probably like base it off that. You know, if you work for a minute and 25 seconds, how far do you get? And I would kind of just go with that. I'd probably say it's probably gonna be somewhere around like a 325 meters, 350 meters probably. That's my kind of guess. So that's how I would scale it back for females. For those you males or females who are looking to scale it back, in general, if you're looking to scale the whole workout back from an RX standpoint, males, I would go to a 35-pound dumbbell. Females, I would go from a 35-pound dumbbell to probably a 20-pound dumbbell. And then for the meters, I would probably recommend picking a meter or picking a distance to row that gives you 30 to 35 seconds worth of work in the first couple rounds. I'm not saying that you should always have 30 seconds worth of work, because your fitness level may, you know, degrade near the end, and at some point now you're like, oh, you have 15 seconds. And near the last round, that's fine. But in the first 2 rounds, I would say shoot for 30 to 35 seconds worth of work, and so base your distance choosing off of that. So if you're a male and you're like, hey, for me, 300 meters gives me 30 to 35 seconds worth of work time because I can't hold any faster, perfect, just go for that. That's your meters you need to go with. So that's how I would scale it back if you guys are looking to scale the workout back completely, because maybe the RX version is a little too difficult. That's what I'd recommend. So we're nearing this is my last row. I'm finishing up my last row here. If I'm sticking to a usual pace, I should get off around like 9:25, I think. Let's see here. We're getting near it right now. So I should get off in about 5 seconds from now. Let's see how close I stuck. So yeah, I actually rode a little bit harder this round with the goal of, okay, I got 4 rounds of 5 devil's press. Now the goal is, can I get maybe 6? Can I get 7? So there's 2. So for a devil's press, to be honest, it's really quite difficult to speed these up because if you look at there, I try to actually drop it straight to the ground. It wastes too much time. It's easier just to kind of bring it down and pop it off your chest kind of concept. It's not really worth it taking it straight to the ground. Plus, it's a metal dumbbell, and I don't want to ruin the force. So here we go, last one. I think this is 6 or 7. I believe it's 7. Boom, 7. So for me, that's good. Like, I was able to surge at the end. That should always kind of be your goal, is like pace, 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 surge. So that was, for me, that's solid. Like, I'm happy with that effort right there.
Oh man, that was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Anyways, guys, that's the workout. It was also in my first full day of training for 2020 training season, CrossFit season, like I mentioned. So if you want to go watch the full season there, my full training day there, you can. I'll put it in the cards. It'll probably also be in the end of this video somewhere. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. If you want to watch a video like this, click here. Other than that, thanks for hanging out. Talk to you guys later. See ya!